News time 11:32. Good evening. I'm Peter Finch. This portion of the news sponsored by Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K, to donate your car today. After Russia pulled out of the agreement that kept Ukrainian grain exports going during the war, world leaders are urging Russia to reconsider the move that's causing concern over potential food crises around the world caused by higher costs on the export from the country known as the world's bread basket. Russia suspended the deal Saturday, citing drone attacks against its fleet in the Black Sea. For more, KCBS's Patty Rising and Brett Burkhardt spoke to Ambassador John Herbst, Senior Director of the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center and former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine.
You know, Russia has targeted power supplies, water supplies, now grain. Is Russia using food as a weapon, and does the target go beyond Ukraine?
Russia has used food as a weapon in this war. They were blockading Ukrainian grain from the spring until the deal was reached in July to allow the export of grain. Now, that deal was supposed to be renewed in November. Most people expected Moscow not to renew it. They've used as a transparent excuse the successful Ukrainian attack on Russian military ships to say they will not renew the agreement. At the moment, while they made that announcement in the last couple of days, they have not reinstated the blockade, which they were conducting in the spring. But they made a statement today, within the last few hours, that they are considering reinstating that blockade. If they do, that will lead to a drastic increase will lead to food scarcity, a drastic increase in food prices, and major suffering, especially in the global south.
That was leading into my next question. Who gets hurt the most? Which part of the world?
Well, the countries which import a great deal of grain from Ukraine are India, Indonesia, Egypt. So these are the countries that should speak up, although it's notable that back in the springtime, when you had this Russian blockade, they were largely silent.
Will the U.S. see a spike in prices because of this? Is there a domino effect?
Well, there will be an overall impact on grain prices. So if the Russians reinstate the blockade and the grain from Ukraine does not ship, prices will rise globally, including in the United States.
I have been told that Turkey and Saudi Arabia, allies of Russia, could be hurt. They could. This could have an unintended consequence. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, Saudi Arabia does receive some grain from Ukraine. They probably could afford the higher prices, but still, it will affect other countries in the Middle East which will not be able to afford the higher prices. And it could lead to malnourishment and worse. It could also lead to food riots. Turkey is, of course, a NATO of the United States, an ally of the United States and NATO, but it has played footsie with Putin. And Turkey, however, was a beneficiary of the deal which Putin has now pulled out of, because Turkey, along with the UN, brokered that grain shipment deal back in the late spring, early summer.
Does Russia rely on the grain?
Well, Russia is also a major grain exporter, and Russia has been stealing Ukrainian grain and marketing it as Russian. The Financial Times had an excellent story on that recently.
That's Ambassador John Herbst, Senior Director of the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center and former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine. KCBS News Time, 11:36. The jury in Harvey Weinstein's sexual assault trial has heard from a third accuser. Reporter Margaret Carrero was inside the courtroom in downtown L.A.
Identified in court as Kelly S., the woman was rather composed during her time on the witness stand. She acknowledged under cross-examination by one of Weinstein's attorneys that she did not tell her story to authorities until after the Me Too movement exploded in 2017. During questioning by a prosecutor, Kelly said that she had told several friends about the alleged assaults prior to that time. She testified that Weinstein assaulted her twice in the the same hotel in Canada in 1991 and again in 2008. The first time she said she was an aspiring actress who had found Weinstein charming and interesting when they met at a film festival, had drinks, and talked about art and film before going up to his room, believing she would be looking at a script. The second time, she was approached by Weinstein's assistant who said he wanted to see her. Kelly said she wanted to talk to him about what happened years earlier. She is the second prior bad acts witness to testify and is not directly related to the charged offenses, which Weinstein has pleaded not guilty to.
We'll check traffic in 90 seconds.
Is there somewhere we can set up our camp chairs?
Camp chairs?
Yeah.
Maybe where it says S&G carpet?
Oh, good idea.
Or maybe over in the waterproof core department.
Well, we've never had anyone camp out in our S&G showroom before.
You don't mind, do you?
Well, I mean,
Because it'll take us all day to explore everything. S&G carpet showrooms are so big, and you've put down so much flooring that we can actually walk on.
I'll go grab the cooler.
And the ice.
Got 2 bags.
We'd like to check out some samples.
Okay.
So we can go home and compare everything in our own lighting and match it to our furniture and paint. You'll pick them up?
We can when we come out to do a free laser measure.
I also brought the sleeping bags.
Sleeping?
Oh, sleepover!
Whoa, is that doable?
S&G's big showrooms are filled with so much carpet, waterproof core, hardwood, and laminate, you'll want to camp out too. Come experience Northern California's largest selection of flooring. Check out samples and schedule a free in-home consultation. Plus, as always, S&G will beat any written estimate by 10%.
S&G more than carpet.
Go to sgcarpet.com for the showroom nearest you or to have their mobile showroom come to you.
Complete your dream outdoor kitchen with a grill from Heston. Come see the Heston Living Suites on display at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill, a Heston dealer for both indoor and outdoor. Each and every Heston grill is built from the ground up in California, and the pride and precision that goes into each grill truly puts the Heston product in a league of its own. And now, you can save $750 or more at the Heston Grilling Rebate event at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill and at friedmansappliance.com.
Let's get a traffic update this Monday night. We go back to the KCBS traffic desk and Carolyn Burns.
And, we'll start out in San Francisco. We might just need the public's help with this. We do have an accident that's being reported on the Central Freeway. It is being reported as the 13th Street on-ramp to southbound 101, also the Utah on-ramp to southbound 101. 2 cars involved here. One of them might be sitting in the second lane from the left. So, again, if anybody happens to see anything, 415-391-KCBS, that's the number to give us a call, because we are just trying to pinpoint that. Also, a new crash in San Francisco, southbound 101 at the 280 connector ramp. It's a 2-car crash there, blocking 2 left lanes. That just happened. CHP is not yet on scene, so you might expect some delays there. And if you are heading to the Golden Gate Bridge, there is roadwork that is now in place. 3 left lanes shut down from the Toll Plaza to Midspan, and that's where we are seeing traffic that is a little under the limit. Your next traffic update is at 11:48 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Showers starting after midnight. Overnight lows upper 40s to mid-50s. Tomorrow, the showers will continue. It'll be cool and a little bit breezy, especially at the coast. Some expected highs tomorrow. San Francisco, out in the avenues. Mountain View and Napa all looking at a high of 58 degrees. San Jose and Livermore, 60 degrees. Concord, Santa Rosa, and Millbrae, 61 degrees. Fremont and Oakland, 64 degrees. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why we share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/news, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/news. That's getrefunds.com/news.
I'm Omar Havels. Lawyers don't have a law business, they have law practice, because it takes a lot of practice to be a good lawyer. Believe me, we have a lot of practice. Some people assume Havels Law is a small law firm. because my father and I do all that. But we're not a small law firm at all. We have a lot of lawyers in a lot of offices all over California. And I personally chose each lawyer because they are the right kind of lawyers. They care deeply about you, and they can win your case in court. They don't need any more practicing. They've been practicing a long time. Habits Law has successfully resolved thousands of personal injury cases in California and collected hundreds of millions